I could feel every eye in the room on me. My dad's new wife, Vanessa, laughed like I was some joke, pointing at me in front of everyone. I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. Her words cut deeper than anything I had ever heard. Seriously, Emma, that's what you're wearing? Really? For a moment, I thought I'd never recover. And then, something inside me snapped. One sentence later, the entire room went silent, and she couldn't say another word. My name is Emma, and I'm 28. Growing up, my dad was my rock. After my parents divorced when I was 12, he was the one constant in my life. We had a small, quiet family dynamic. Me, my younger brother Alex, and Dad. 2 years ago, Dad remarried. His new wife, Vanessa, seemed perfect on paper. She was elegant, polished, charming, the kind of woman who lights up a room. At first, I wanted to like her. I really did. But it didn't take long for cracks to show. The first time I really noticed Vanessa's attitude toward me was at a small family dinner. She smiled at everyone but me. Then, casually, she said, "Oh, Emma, still working at that little cafe? I thought someone like your dad would want his daughter aiming higher." The comment stung, but I tried to brush it off. Dad just nodded awkwardly. No one else said anything. Then came holidays. Every holiday became a minefield. Christmas, she accidentally spilled cranberry sauce on my sweater, laughing as I scrambled to clean it up. "Oh, Emma, you really need to pay more attention. I can't believe your dad lets you leave the house like that," she said loudly, ensuring everyone heard. I smiled through the humiliation, telling myself to stay calm, to stay polite. But inside, I was furious. I started noticing other things. She would compare my achievements to her daughter Lily's, always pointing out how behind I was. She constantly made subtle digs at my looks, my clothing, my personality. Dad, though supportive, seemed hesitant to intervene. It felt like walking on a tightrope, never knowing when she would strike next. The breaking point came at my stepsister Lily's college graduation party. Vanessa invited all of Dad's friends, family, and colleagues. The room was filled with people I barely knew. I arrived in a simple, modest dress, wanting to look nice but not flashy. Vanessa saw me, and her smile twisted into something cruel. "Oh, Emma," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "I didn't expect you to actually show up like that." She laughed. "You really didn't try, did you?" I froze. Heat rushed to my face. Everyone was looking. I could feel judgment in their eyes. I muttered, barely above a whisper, "Thanks, Vanessa. I didn't want to outshine anyone." She didn't stop. "Oh, don't be so humble. Honestly, you always look like you just rolled out of bed. I don't know how your dad ever let you leave the house like that." I wanted to disappear. I wanted to scream. But I remembered Dad's advice. "Emma, never let anyone steal your light. Stand tall, even if it's just a flicker." I realized something then. Vanessa thrived on humiliation. The more she embarrassed me, the more she felt powerful. I couldn't let her win. Not again. I took a deep breath and looked around the room. Everyone was watching. Everyone knew something was wrong, but no one had the courage to speak up. I had to do it myself. I straightened my back, lifted my chin, and spoke clearly. "Vanessa," I said, letting my voice carry, "it's fascinating that you focus so much on what I wear instead of noticing that my father chose to be happy with you." Her smile faltered. The room went quiet. I paused, letting the words sink in. Then I added softly, but firmly, "Maybe one day, you'll understand that confidence isn't about putting others down. It comes from knowing who you are." The silence was deafening. She opened her mouth to reply, but no words came. Her face turned bright red. Finally, she muttered, "Well, and walked away. For the first time, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. After that day, everything changed. Dad called me later, apologizing. "Emma, I didn't realize how badly she was treating you," he said. I explained everything. He promised to set boundaries. And boundaries he did. Vanessa tried a few more times to humiliate me at small family gatherings, but Dad stepped in firmly each time. "You will not speak to Emma like that," he said. Her power over me evaporated instantly. Meanwhile, I didn't need to lash out or plot revenge. The universe did it for me. People who had witnessed her behavior started noticing. Lily, her own daughter, began questioning Vanessa's actions privately. Even Dad's colleagues, who once chuckled at her digs, began to respect me. The most satisfying part? Vanessa realized her attempts at control no longer worked. I don't know if Vanessa will ever truly change. But I know I will never let anyone diminish me again, not a stepmother, not a cruel relative, not anyone. Sometimes, the strongest revenge is not anger or confrontation. It's confidence, clarity, and standing up for yourself when it matters most. That one sentence didn't just shut her up, it reminded everyone in that room of the truth. Respect is earned, and cruelty will never silence a person who knows their worth. I finally felt free. I finally felt seen. And for the first time in years, family gatherings didn't feel like a battlefield. No matter how humiliating a moment feels, standing tall and speaking your truth can shift the balance in your favor. Sometimes the loudest, cruelest person in the room can be silenced with nothing more than courage and clarity. Remember, confidence is your strongest weapon. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories.